Let's get to the game of the night. And we thought going in, this was the Clippers. They were waiting for this. They were calling out the Warriors, starting with Doc Rivers. You got celebrities there, Derek Jeter, Jay-Z, courtside. This was big, big-time stuff. Reggie Miller, who called the game. That build-up, it lived up to the build-up there, Reg. Your thoughts going into this game and then what happened eventually?
Well, we talked about you and I and the Danettes, the bad blood between both these teams. Both teams genuinely do not like one another, and they wear it proudly. They're not afraid to tell each other that. So the buildup was there, and, at the start of the game, we were like, my goodness, the 4 days off. Chris Paul missing the last two games because of the groin injury. These guys look crisp. They look fresh. They're ready to go. The Warriors coming in 12-game winning streak, obviously, to start the season, and we're like, okay, this is what we were anticipating, and it was like a switch was flipped with Golden State. Curry picks up two quick fouls in that first quarter. Draymond Green, two quick fouls. They go to the bench. They barely play in the first quarter, but it was Klay Thompson and Harrison Barnes who just kind of kept them afloat. And it was only a 15-point lead at halftime. And I kept saying, because of the firepower that Golden State possesses, you got to be real careful because this is the team you've got to knock out. I mean, they can catch fire quickly, and we saw that in the second half. 17 of 30 from downtown, Golden State from beyond the arc.
Yeah, they take these shots with any thought, and it used to be that if you took a three, you almost gave thought to taking a three. These guys don't even, it's like, all right, I'm taking a shot. Oh, okay, it's a three. They're so comfortable with that. Draymond Green is so underrated with this team because you have to focus on Curry and Klay, but he's sort of there, and if he's got a wide-open three, he fills the categories with other stats there. So it's an interesting...
We talk about this being a copycat league and that teams are trying to go to space and pace and play a lot like the Warriors. But I keep telling people, and you and I talked about this, there's only one Draymond Green, and there's only one Anthony Davis, guys that if they get switched out onto a point guard, can play a point guard as well as play centers. And if you saw in that fourth quarter, Luke Walton went to his best lineup, and that was Draymond Green at 5, Harrison Barnes at 4, Andre Iguodala at 3, and the Splash Brothers at 1 and 2. So they went small. Doc elected to stay big, stay with his starters, which was DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin, and that was a mistake. You could switch everything at the defensive end, which Golden State did, and in transition, it's the kind of threes that Golden State gets. They're not forced. It was a couple swings, and it was a wide-open shot for Harrison Barnes. Andre Iguodala, back-to-back threes, wide-open threes. So they averaged 30 assists a game. They number one in points scored at 114, number one in assists 30, number one in field goal percentage at 48%, number one at three-point percentage at 40%. They are so efficient offensively, and yet they are so unselfish to be a championship team.
I know it's only one game. It's early in the regular season. It just felt like this was more for both of these teams. Certainly, I think it's bigger for the Clippers that they had a 23-point lead and they lost the game at home after talking all of this trash in the offseason, Reg.
Absolutely more for the Clippers because you basically were calling out the champs, saying it, and not to say that he said it exactly like this, but basically you're saying, you guys didn't play us. It was luck that you won the championship. And then you get up 23 points, and this is very reminiscent of last year for the Clippers during the playoffs. Up 19, up 3-1 versus Houston. You're up 19 at home in a closeout situation in Staples. You find a way to lose that game and then lose the series, and Houston goes on to the Western Conference Finals. So, you can't be calling out the champs. Up 23 with their best player picking up two quick fouls and going to the bench and basically not even playing in the first quarter. He had three points after one quarter and ends the game scoring 37 and 40 on you. So you call it, what this does, this boosts Golden State, the fear factor now. Now everyone's thinking, wait a minute, Chris Paul had an unbelievable night playing hurt. Blake Griffin had 28, and you do this to the Clippers in Staples, the fear factor now is there. Up 23, the legend is starting to grow.
Tough end of back-to-back here for the Warriors. They got Chicago here, third game in 4 nights. Does the winning streak come to an end?
Well, let's say this. Chicago was one of 2 teams to beat Golden State in Oracle last season during the regular season. So it's possible, but the way they're playing right now, they are so deep. People forget how deep the Warriors are because, Maurice Spates, Jason Thompson, who barely gets off the bench, those 2 guys as bigs if you're Luke Walton. And then they're playing this young kid, Ian Clark. He didn't play a lot last night, but he played an important 4 to 5 minutes, especially with all the foul trouble. So they're deep. They're going to learn how to, utilize that bench. Sean Livingston didn't play last night for the Warriors, and he's a big part of what they do. It's certainly going to be an entertaining game. I can't wait to see, hopefully Derrick Rose will play because of the ankle injury. So if he plays, and a chance for him to go against Steph and Clay. But the fear factor is there, and everyone's talking about 72 wins and, the Chicago Bulls record of that 96-97 Michael Jordan-led team. Is it possible? Sure, it's possible. I'm not quite sure if you're Steve Kerr, Luke Walton, you really want to tax your team and go after that 72-win mark.
I agree. How would that Michael Jordan Bulls team do against the Golden State Warriors?
What rules are we playing with?
Let's play with today's rules.
No one would be able to stop Michael, so he would average 55, 60. If you're playing with today's rules, you can't touch them.
Okay, so it's better if we play with the rules of the late 90s?
Yeah, mid-90s, late 90s, where you could hold, hit. Let me just say this. The Clippers did absolutely the best job possible in trying to guard Steph last night. They were physical. They were trying to take the 3 away and force them inside that 3-point line. They had a point of contact on them. They had bodies on them. They tried to be physical. This dude is good, man. People need to understand this dude is just good. I mean, you can play all you want. This dude is just flat out good. I mean, it's a pleasure to watch, man, because I know the hard work that goes into shooting and creating and getting. Man, listen to me, Daniel.
Oh, I know.
This dude is good.
Reg, he's so much fun to watch, and he will change how kids play basketball. The impact will be felt in 5 or 10 years down the road. You'll have somebody saying, as Curry said he was inspired by Steve Nash, you'll have kids say they were inspired by Steph Curry.
I mean, you look at Michael Jordan and you looked at Magic Johnson. I mean, 6'9", 6'6". A lot of kids say, I wasn't physically gifted to be that tall or to jump that high, to pass that well. But when you look at Steph, if you saw him in the mall with a hat on, you'd be like, oh, that's just another dude. That's one of the greatest players playing in the game right now. He just looks so unassuming. But when he steps onto a basketball court, he is a magician. And I said last night, if I had to nitpick, if there's just one thing that would drive me crazy, I would tell him he's got to be more careful with the basketball. He just makes lazy passes at times because he's so gifted with the basketball. He just thinks he can do anything on the floor, and that could come back to nip them in the bud, the turnovers. Because if you don't turn the basketball over and they get a look at the basket, I mean, they're shooting almost 50% from the field and 40 from 3, and you don't turn the basketball over, it's almost a death sentence.
Who was the fourth best team in the state of California in the NBA?
I would go with, you got Warriors. Well, you know who it is. It's the Warriors. Then you've got the Clippers.
And then?
You got Sacramento. And then you got the Lakers.
So the Lakers are fourth in the state of California.
Absolutely. Come on, that's no secret. I mean, people aren't going to argue that. I mean, Charles said that. It's no secret.
Oh, by the way, we had Frank Kaminsky on, the Bobcats rookie, and he said yesterday he would the Hornets, they're the Hornets now, not the Bobcats. He would lose to Michael Jordan in a one-on-one game.
Well, we talked about this, and we named the guys that MJ could not beat on that team. And I agree with Frank the Tank.
You don't think that he could beat Jordan now?
No. Make it take it? No. Make it take it. MJ wins a game to 11 I would say 7-4.
But see, people are afraid of offending Jordan even now.
Who gives a about MJ?
You do.
I do not. What, I care about MJ? I'm just telling it like it is. Kimball Walker would beat him.
Would you beat him?
I'll be his Huckleberry. You damn right I'll be his Huckleberry. Look, I got pent-up emotions about MJ, so of course I'm going to be coming strong.
If it was make it, take it, and he had the ball first, does Reggie Miller beat Michael Jordan?
Yes. Yes, I do. I'm going to go all Steph on him.
You finally own Michael Jordan.
It's sad. He's got some rings and the MVPs, and the only time I'm going to beat him is in the twilight of my career. It's sad, isn't it?
Oh. Hey, I know you got Celtics Hawks Tuesday, November 24th, so we won't be talking to you next week. But, hey, thank you again for coming on. Happy Thanksgiving to you. And
Happy Turkey Day to you, Daniel, and my Danettes. I look forward to the week after resuming our daily dialogue.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's Reggie Miller, NBA on TNT. Had the game last night.